Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. Today's video comes to us from Adele, Georgia, and features auditor Jeremy Thomas. Be sure to check out Jeremy's channel and the original video in the description. Let's dive right in and audit the audit. Mr. Thomas is conducting a First Amendment audit at the Adele police station while open carrying a pistol on his side. He is walking around the police department filming various vehicles in the lot when he is initially contacted by Officer Summers.
No, ma'am.
What's going on?
Nothing much.
Alright. Heard you looking in the patrol car.
Yes, ma'am.
What's going on?
I'm looking in the patrol car.
Okay, why?
Just a constitutional public activity.
You got your ID on you?
No.
No?
No. It's in my car.
Alrighty.
Where do I live?
Yes, sir.
Valdosta?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So what's so interesting about Valdosta? Just curious.
What's so interesting about Valdosta?
Or, excuse me, Adele.
I go to all over and do this. And I don't ever give them my name because I don't have to. I'm not committing a crime.
So you're one of those?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know my rights.
Okay, cool.
Period. Yes.
So you just kind of police baiter, is that what this is? Get your hands out of your pocket if you don't mind.
Oh, no. I'm just videoing cars, that's all. Doing what I can see from anything I can see from public, my eyes can see, my cameras can see also.
Alright.
So
He's a police baiter.
I don't know what you guys call it here, but I'm
The police department. One of those.
man, wow.
Alright. Give me 1 second.
How many cops it takes for a public photographer?
Do I know?
How many cops it takes for a public photographer?
As many as they want, I guess.
As many as they want. You guys, I wasn't even here. Name and badge number, please.
What you need it for?
You have to identify yourself, sir.
I ain't got that number. I didn't find it.
The trooper is correct. It is a common misconception that police officers must identify themselves when asked, but most states have no laws which require officers to identify themselves. I've covered this topic in more detail in another video which I will link in the description. Check it out for more information regarding police identification and department policy.
32D.
Negative.
320.
That's it.
What's your name?
Trooper Reed.
I'm Officer Sumner, this is Officer Green. We got Sergeant Robertson out as well.
What's your name? Officer Green? Yeah. Okay.
So the alarming thing is that you're carrying a gun, which is not illegal.
Right.
But you're looking in the patrol cars, so somebody that's passing by could suspect
Right,
you
right.
might be,
Which
they're
you know.
to fire at somebody sitting
Right.
in the car.
And matter of fact, somebody just left here just a second ago, and a cop actually.
Oh yeah.
He pulled up out of a gray car, didn't say nothing. I got out of my car. He said, "Am I here for anybody?" I said, "Nope." That's it. So if he had a problem with it, he would have said something.
He may be the one that called. He might just be off duty. Somebody called us about.
Oh, he was on duty. He said he was He said,
Chief of police.
I don't know.
Chief called? Yeah. So,
Chief called?
Chief of our,
That was the chief that told me.
Oh, okay.
okay. Robert, do you want to talk to him or you want to do that tonight?
I'd like him to explain himself. That's what 29. He said he walked around with a firearm at the police station until it wasn't 10 days. He could have had mine. So just identify him and go from there.
Yeah, he's refusing to give her an ID.
He ain't broken any laws. He will.
Yeah, I haven't broken any laws, so
Nobody
if you guys
said you
do try to arrest me or something, you're on camera. I haven't done anything wrong.
Nobody said breaking laws. We're just wondering what you're doing up here.
What I'm doing up here?
Yeah.
My tax dollars paid for this property, right? This is public property, correct?
Although Mr. Thomas is correct that police departments are public property, that doesn't mean that his tax dollars have paid for them. Most police departments are funded by the municipality that their jurisdiction presides over. Mr. Thomas said earlier in the video that he is a resident of Valdosta, not Adele, so technically his tax dollars do not pay for this property, and the only officer here that receives any amount of Mr. Thomas's tax dollars is the state trooper.
pay taxes.
So, yeah, I pay taxes. I work. So as long as I pay taxes here, I can be here.
Ain't nobody got a problem with it. We just wanna
Those
let
cars you guys drive in, my tax dollars pay for them.
So do ours.
Right. So I have just as right as much as to be here, just as you guys do.
you know. Like I said, ain't nobody said there's a problem
Okay.
with anything.
I just,
Good, we just curious.
how many cops it takes for a public photographer?
As many as it wants.
Am I being disorderly?
Nope.
Okay.
Nobody said you were.
Okay. I'll just making sure.
Video, man. Read the video.
Officer Green, Officer Sommer, an officer
Negative.
320. You guys, he won't tell me.
It's true.
All right. Well, if you guys don't mind, am I being detained?
No, you
Oh,
Are
okay.
you free to go?
You guys serious?
I mean, we got a right to be here, don't we?
They're following me, you guys. I'm just here to video.
Okay, that's fine. We
I'm
just here.
videoing too. Right here.
Sir.
all right?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. You're being videoed too. It's all good. What's going on?
Just video on the cars. Video on the cars.
Is that your car?
Yes, sir. It is my car over there.
What should we call you? What's your name?
Good Samaritan.
Pick
Matter of
your
fact, Jeremy. That's my real name.
My name's John. That's fine. So Jeremy, what's on your mind?
Just video on the cars.
Do you normally pull up in police stations openly armed? And video
Yes, I
cars?
have videos on YouTube that I do. Yes, sir.
I'm just curious why. It's a conversation. What's up? Because you have to understand, this is the way things are going today. People walk up and open fire at police stations or police cars. That's a pretty dangerous activity.
The supervisor asserts the notion that police officers are often murdered by random people walking up and firing guns into police stations or patrol cars. The FBI statistics show that of the 55 officers killed in the line of duty in 2018, only 11 of them were killed through premeditated or ambush-style attacks. The U.S. Department of Justice calculated that in 2012, there were 1,076,054 officers employed in the United States. So per year, only 0.01% of officers die in the line of duty, and only about 0.001% are killed by premeditated attacks. There is no basis for an officer to assume that anyone who is armed is a threat. This officer is attempting to wield safety concerns and fear tactics as a means to disarm Mr. Thomas.
No one's saying you can't video. When you pull up in here wearing a firearm, we don't know if you're a threat or not. So I'd hate to treat you as one and you be straight up. You understand me?
The officer is insinuating if he were to mistakenly perceive Mr. Thomas as a threat, that Mr. Thomas would be at fault for the officer's actions. This is a subtle form of victim blaming. Mr. Thomas is not responsible for the officer's actions, and if the officer were to perceive Mr. Thomas as a threat for no other reason than carrying a firearm on public property, then it would be the officer who is at fault for his actions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do me a favor, because you're on our property. If you
Okay.
want a video away, put the gun in your car. Yes. Or park across the street and video from over there.
So by law, I have to put my gun in the car to video, even though
We're not in the public. You're on private police property.
Another instance of police officers failing to understand the difference between private and public property. All police stations are public property paid for by taxpayers. Many police officers operate under the misconception that cities are private entities, but any place that is paid for by tax collections is open to the public. Mr. Thomas has a right to film at the police station and has a right to carry a weapon while he does so.
So store the gun, video if you like, because I don't know what's on your mind.
Okay, so I have one question.
Yes.
This is private property, not public.
You pay taxes for this?
Yes, sir.
Put your gun up. I'm telling you for a safety measure. Store the gun, come back and video, that's fine. Because you decide you want to whip that out and open fire.
I will not do no such thing.
You'll put the gun up in the car, please. I'm asking you nicely.
The officer is making a backhanded request that Mr. Thomas disarm himself. This statement could easily be perceived as a threat because Mr. Thomas is not breaking any laws and this officer is not issuing any lawful orders. Mr. Thomas is not legally obligated to follow the officer's orders, but the officer states that there may be consequences if he does not. Officers often disguise informal requests as lawful orders or refuse to answer questions directly. A good tactic to combat this is to remain silent, let them do the talking, and do not establish a dialogue with officers who behave this way, and do not obey their requests until they become lawful orders.
If not, I get arrested, right?
You could be facing some trouble, yes. I'm asking you for your safety
I'll
as
tell you
well as
this,
mine.
if you go to like the mall or Walmart.
He
or
threatened
somewhere,
to arrest me if I don't do it, you guys.
Listen to me.
Put my gun up.
If you go to another like private property like Walmart, the mall or something, and they tell you that you can't carry, you have to put it up by
Right.
their standards.
Same
It's the
thing.
Same thing here.
Yeah.
But that's different. Walmart and the mall is private property. This is
So is this.
public. No, this is public.
private
Tax
property.
dollars pays for this property.
Just put the gun up video.
Well, after I do that, can I get you guys someone that's hired up?
I'm it for the day. You're talking to the shift commander, so I'm it.
Because you guys know.
I'm not worried about your feelings, sir. I'm worried about our safety. Stand by. Sure, I'd be happy to do it and walk around, but
I don't want to walk with you, sir.
okay. You put your gun up, come back video. We'll stay here and see
So,
our car.
so one more time. I was gonna get arrested if I didn't do
I'm
it.
telling you to put the gun up for our safety.
I was gonna get
I'd
arrested.
hate for something bad to happen.
I was gonna get arrested.
You can say whatever you want to say.
That's what you said, right?
Put the gun up, please. Run that 28. Thank you.
Many courts have determined that there are no laws against officers randomly running license plates on a vehicle because there is no expectation of privacy associated with your vehicle's registration. This is because the tag is in plain sight and visible at all times. So if you plan to conduct an audit of your own and wish to remain anonymous, it is a good idea to park your car elsewhere.
So I don't want to reach for my gun and you guys shoot.
Would you like to put it in the trunk? We'll stand here and watch you put it up there. Just don't do nothing stupid
I
with
don't want to reach for it.
it. Would you like me to do it for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please don't hurt me.
I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to clear it safe.
You guys see this illegal? This is very illegal.
Video over here.
At this point, Mr. Thomas has voluntarily surrendered his firearm. The officer is doing nothing illegal by fulfilling Mr. Thomas's request for the officer to remove the firearm. Mr. Thomas did not have to surrender his weapon, but he chose to waive his rights and obey the officer's request.
See that? Where'd you like it in your car?
It can be in the trunk.
Pop the trunk for me. That'd be fine.
It's very illegal, you guys.
Okay. We'll be waiting to hear from your attorney, I'm sure.
Very illegal.
Watch here. There. Feel free. Welcome to the ADLPD. Use good judgment. Just because you can do something don't mean you should.
Okay, but let me ask you one more thing. If I would have never put my gun away, would I would have been subject to arrest?
Step by step. Step by step. We take it one step at a time.
Would I have been subject to
I'm not gonna
arrest?
play your game. We're not in court, sir. Okay? What would have happened is if you had made a threatening motion with that weapon, you might have got yourself hurt.
So I did it because of your personal feelings, about my.
Whatever.
So I didn't have to put away my
Feel free to
gun.
video all you like.
I didn't have to put away my gun.
Have a nice day.
How many cops it takes for a public photographer? Hey, officer.
Yes.
I seriously, besides all the other cops coming out,
Right. Jeremy's on the phone, right?
yeah.
Okay. Talk away, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Now, I'm lost.
You're lost?
So, if I would have never put my gun up, that would have been subject to
I'm not gonna
arrest.
speculate. You,
I just want to know that.
since you want to be theoretical, you like to talk about what is. Let me tell you about what is. Okay? And
I got my hands right here, you guys.
I want to go on record anywhere. You're being videoed too by all of us, so
Right.
it's all cool, right? Across the country right now, people are attacking police officers with guns. So when you pull up in a police station wearing a gun, conducting suspicious activity,
Which is not a misdemeanor or a felony.
we don't know what's on your mind. I don't know you. You don't know me. I don't know what's going on between your ears. With an open threat like that,
You have a gun.
sure do. Let me explain it this way. Authority, City of Baydale, power to enforce it, state of Georgia. It's all the same. You don't have that.
Officers often act as if their authority granted to them by the state somehow anoints them with a greater sense of morality than the general public, but this couldn't be further from the truth. In 2018, officer-involved shootings made up a significant amount of the total incidents involving deaths by firearm, far exceeding the average annual police deaths which occur as a result of gun violence. The data suggests that Mr. Thomas has much more to fear from the officers he encountered than they do of him.
You
I have
you don't
citizen arrest
you don't have
power.
the authority. not going to sit here and play semantics with you. You pull up in a police station with a gun doing suspicious things, we don't know what's on your mind. So before I let you, not knowing who you are, heard it.
Jeremy Thomas. And Jeremy Charles Thomas. Have a good one. If you need anything, let me know.
Hey,
I'd be more than welcome to help you.
I just want to know, if I would have never put my gun away, I would have been subject to arrest for something that the Constitution said I can do?
Listen,
You guys supposed to uphold the Constitution.
you're supposed to use common sense.
It's a personal feeling.
Yeah, so anyway, you come up, I don't know who you are, I'm responsible for all their safety. So before I'm going to let you hurt me or them.
So I got a question. One more. It's not a race thing though, is it?
Right, but what about race?
It's not like a race thing.
I
Like,
don't care if you're green, buddy. I've been a cop 30 years. It don't matter to me.
okay, I just want to make sure.
Nothing to do. You can be black, white, green, or yellow. Threat's a threat, no matter how you act.
Well, I like to talk to your supervisor tomorrow.
Tomorrow, come in. You cut off. You can go to the front desk and ask.
He was just there.
That's how I feel. Chief of police, hello.
He was just there, and he didn't say nothing about it.
Well, then I guess you come back up here. Because yeah, I work for him.
I just come back and open carry again, sir.
Badge and all this, notwithstanding, I'm not letting myself see these guys hurt because you want to prove something. Common sense, man.
Well,
What if I rolled up in your yard wearing a gun, started just whatever, and you came out and challenged me? It's your yard, you got the right to do that.
that's private property, not public.
But you don't, you come and go to work here?
I pay taxes here.
Lowndes County tax says you don't. Are you an Ado resident, a Cook County resident?
I be here.
That's not what I asked you. Are you a Cook County resident or an
No,
Ado resident?
no.
Then you don't pay taxes here. Go to VPD and tell me how it goes in Lowndes County. Right now, have you already done that before?
Yeah.
Valdosta Police Department and Lowndes County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, I have.
Let me see. I'd love to see it. Come in the shade over so the sun won't glare you out.
All right, you guys. I got to cut this short.
Yeah, come on.
Overall, Officer John gets a C+ rating because although he did not violate any of Mr. Thomas's rights and was ultimately able to disarm him through coercion, Officer John backed his requests with fear-mongering and subtle threats. Officer John also appears unable to discern the difference between public and private property, and that is certainly something he should be more thoroughly educated about given his position as shift commander. Mr. Thomas gets a C- rating for failing to use any measure of critical thinking during his interaction with the Adel Police Department and allowing Officer John to convince him to surrender his weapon. Mr. Thomas voluntarily obeyed Officer John without questioning the authority of his requests and could have been more vigilant about his right to bear arms without surrendering to the intimidation of police officers. Let us know if you have a video you think we should audit in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more police interaction content.